What's popcorn a poppin', gamers? Welcome to Gamers Go to the Movies, the only podcast where we watch every Hollywood adaptation of a video game. I am your host, Dan Video Games, and with me is Bob,
Cowabunga,
Dr. Aggro,
Cinematic,
and Chris Wolfhard.
everyone.
We thought we would do something special for the first episode and not just watch the most recent gaming movie that's out, but in fact, we wanted to take you back to the past to talk about Double Dragon, the movie. I grew up a Double Dragon fan. I'm going to check real quick. Bob, what is your experience with Double Dragon?
I played a bit of Double Dragons each of your plays, and I checked out some long plays.
You did your research.
That's right. I also played through Neon.
Chris Wolfhard?
I played through the first one on NES and then the arcade version later when it came to Xbox 360 and also Neon.
And Dr. Aggro.
Yeah, I played just a bit of the NES and arcade ones, and I watched the cartoon when I was a kid.
So did I.
Amazing. I also watched the cartoon. Let me tell you, the total shift between Double Dragon 1, 2, 3, that cartoon, and the 5 fighting game were enough to make me go, what? What is happening? Why is it so weird?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, I'm a huge Double Dragon nut. I grew up with Double Dragon 2, Double Dragon 3. I rented Double Dragon on the Super Nintendo, which this is no exaggeration, even baby Dan Video Games went, ew, gross, why is this run so bad? And I did not like it enough to try to get a copy. It's such a bizarre thing to watch a game go from very fluid and smooth and cool to choppy on the Super Nintendo, especially when it's not, a taxing shmup like Gradius 3. Anyway, we're here to talk about this movie specifically. For anyone who's curious what the Double Dragon movie from 1994 is about, you wouldn't believe me, right?
Who would?
It takes place in New Angeles, which is LA after the quake of 2000 that completely wrecks the environment.
I actually meant to check if this was before or after Escape from L.A. I assume it's after, but I don't know.
This is when you furiously type on your phone right now to just be like, I need to know. The movie itself takes place in 2007, 7 years after that famous earthquake. Ever since that event, the gangs have ruled the streets every night.
Oh, this beat out Escape from L.A.
Wait, what?
It did.
Yeah,
This,
by 2 years.
What?
yeah. This one has such deeply fascinating world building.
It does. Mm-hmm. They have the smog fan on top of buildings?
Yes.
Yes, they have smog fans. Every building has what seems to be like an earthquake preventer, like some kind of big mechanical device in its foundation that protects it from earthquake.
And someone needs to manually crank.
That's only in the shitty beaten up gym they're in the opening. That we see the insides of the big expensive shopping center later in the movie, and they have like reactor powered ones that are automatic.
The really fascinating thing is the ad for these, because the ad is like, and remember, it's everyone's fault. And I'm like, oh my God. I thought that would be there for the smog part, not the earthquakes ruining everything. It's everyone's fault. God's angry, I guess, is the message.
No. It's no, Dan. It's everyone's fault. We're all on the fault in the earth.
That's clever. Because the reason why my line of thinking was along that way is because the Smogcaster, who's just credited as Andy because it's Andy Dick, literally was like, and if you don't have a smog fan, then get a job.
Yeah, I thought that was delightful. This movie is, it's like they went, okay, what kind of world could a beat 'em up happen in? And be like, RoboCop.
Yes, exactly. It's very RoboCop.
It is.
Yeah, they found some way to turn the city into a post-apocalyptic Fist of North Star-like area, but make it confined to a single city.
Which is amazingly ambitious. This is a film with a very small budget. Most places I'm seeing under $8 million. Wow.
Yeah,
Man.
It was not an expensive movie, which makes sense when you watch it.
In a lot of these shots, what they do to try to have the world, but not, need to build the whole thing out, is a lot of matte paintings, and
classic.
a lot of constrictive shots of action. So there's like a whole Sea-Doo race There's a chase scene on speedboats and whatnot, and they keep the tightest shots imaginable from the highest angle doable.
Right. They're just like, you look at the water, nothing else, please.
Because they just showed the water, and it was a map painting of like this part of New Angeles submerged. So like they can't make that.
No.
I really liked this one shot early in the movie
Yeah.
where they're just driving. Like it looks neat. It's like a cool world building shot. You have this totally fucked up, decimated Los Angeles. It's neat.
It's really crazy to think you could put such cool looking stuff on the screen for so little money. Because
Right.
even though there are map paintings all over it, it looks really cool.
It was worth it to completely replace that with VFX, right? It's just as cost as effective and looks just as good.
Yeah, you can't just get literally one guy to draw or paint a map painting.
You can't do it.
No, you can't.
Not anymore. We fired all those people.
You
Yes.
kind of want to mail this movie to people like they did this with $8 million. They did this with $8 million. F you.
This was a movie nobody liked from 30 years ago. Go watch what people did.
It's a weird because this movie by and large also works really well to be funny. Like there's a lot of parts of this movie surprisingly I enjoyed more as an adult than I did as a kid. For example, the notion of was it George Hamilton and Vanna White as the newscasters of New Angeles. That's absolutely hilarious. Fuck Andy Dick. Even the closed captioning on Amazon Prime is just like, whatever, it's fucking Andy Dick. His character doesn't have a name.
You
I know
what
who
you're
that
getting.
is.
You see it on the tin.
But yeah, no, it's a really fascinating universe and it's really well conveyed. And I guess to further cover the plot of the movie, there's a double dragon medallion that's split in two and it's been separated. And a lady who's with the Dragon Brothers
Yes.
has hid one in, and this is what the movie calls it, somewhere in China.
It sure was the 90s.
And the other one gets to hang around.
Yeah, she just has it in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Sorry, New Angeles. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Worth noting, these are explicitly Chinese mystical artifacts.
Yes.
Yet the villain is like, I have taken the name of the Japanese warlord, Kogashuko.
Sure was the 90s.
Yeah, no, that it just reeks of 90s-ism.
We haven't quite figured out those are different things yet.
Nope.
Our main characters, the Lee brothers, are sad because their father died at some point. Turns out it's Shuko's fault. That guy. By the way, I guess I should explain him through his own aggrandizing story, self-aggrandizing story. He explains that the quake made him the new emperor, basically, of New Angeles. He rose up through the ranks thanks to the power of the quake. I don't think they explain it any further than that.
God, can
but
you
he
imagine
did that.
a billionaire taking over a single U.S. city?
Also, let us be very clear. Kogashuko is a white dude. He's Robert Patrick.
Yeah,
He's the
Robert
D1000.
Patrick cosplaying as Vanilla Ice.
I know.
Yes.
It's delightful.
It's so good.
It's so goofy, but it's like, this is fucking a great antagonist for your cyberpunk campaign.
Yes. Oh my God. Could you imagine Cyberpunk 2077 had another expansion? It was that.
That'd be awesome.
Fuck,
be
I'd buy
so
that game again.
Oh, man. But yeah, he's after the medallion because with the power of the medallion, he will be able to truly take over the entire city because half of the medallion gives you the power of the soul and the other half gives you the power of body. He has the soul one. That was the one somewhere in China. And he's trying to get that pesky last half of a medallion from the Lee brothers throughout the film. Bobo's in this. I wish he wasn't.
They sure did make a horrifying creature.
I kind of like a Bobo. First of all, I like the bizarre database that everybody has access to that you can just look someone up on.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yes, that's the half of the setting that is the 93 Mario Brothers movie.
Yes, where they have like the weird tricked out car, and everybody has a computer terminal in their car that lets them look up. Like, the Lee brothers look up a Pobo and get his bench press, which I think is pretty funny.
It is pretty funny.
But also the fact that each of these profiles is accompanied by an animated GIF of them like mugging at the camera or sticking out their tongue or something. But okay, maybe that's some kind of police gang database that's publicly available for citizens. But then Abobo has one for them.
Maybe the Lee brothers are convicted. I don't know.
I assume it's because they add in the angle that he works for Kogashuko later on, so maybe he has access to that database.
Maybe that's what's up, but I don't know.
I made the assumption that, like,
Is it a police state if everybody knows everything about everyone?
exactly, we have the panopticon of government acquired information, but everyone has access to it. It's the pure libertarian nightmare dream.
So as we were experiencing them drive around in what is blatantly the Mario movie cars.
But they've loaded it with fuel like they do in Back to the Future, where they have to shove trash into the thing in the glove compartment.
They do.
They do. Like, this is not the last time I'm going to say this. This movie has everything.
It does.
It kind of does.
It took a little bit of everything on the way out of the store. But as we're doing this scene, and it is a comedic scene, I'm sort of just wowed because we watched the Mario movie, both of them actually, for other videos on this channel. We will have to revisit those in the future. But I'm wowed as I expect the goofy Mario movie music to cut in that they put over that entire movie to be like, no, kids, it's fun, it's funny, it's fun, it's funny. This is funny. Play the whimsical circus music. And this, no, it's gonna play like the cool music, like it's almost as edgy as Sewer Shark. It's got a soundtrack going that knows that this is a cool moment as the Lee brothers shove Cheese Whiz into the biodegradable fuel container for their car. They know this is an awesome moment. They don't play the super goofy circus music. This is quite the film between the setting and everything else. And here's the part that I think might be the single most important thing to tell our audience who hasn't seen it. It is so obviously influenced by Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
My single favorite bizarre thing in this movie is when there is a guy that is obviously meant to be a neo-Nazi gang leader with a swastika on his forehead, and at some point they went, this is supposed to be a kid's movie, maybe we shouldn't. So he just has this incomprehensible marking on his forehead.
Yeah, I was a little distracted because I just saw that guy in an episode of X-Files I was watching. I was like, oh no, all my 90s media is running together, and he's also in Star Trek. But no, it's true. He has whatever you call that on his forehead. It's very strange.
At the very organized citywide gang meetup where all of the themed gangs hang out together and speak in weird, forced 90s script slang. Flawless scene.
I mean, shit, I love the Warriors.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Who doesn't love the Warriors?
I think this was the scene, the gang meeting, where it struck me. It wasn't until later that this was disproven. I started thinking, have I seen a single black person in this movie?
Oh dear. There's Asian people.
Yeah, no, it's not a not diverse cast, but I swear there was. But they were in a gang shot.
Not in any named cast member, no.
Right, I think they were a part of the clans who were just invading the headquarters near the end of the movie.
Yeah, even possibly part of the good guy clan at the end of the movie too.
Yeah, the good guy Foot Clan. Like their base is even the same base from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, where the Foot are like corrupting the youth. They have the good guy version.
Mm-hmm. The Power Core, led by Alyssa Milano in What's-Her-Face's haircut from Hackers.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Also worth noting, I don't know how to say his name, but Mark Dacascos is in this. For people who don't know, that is the guy from John Wick 3.
Yep.
And the original Iron Chef America alleged nephew of the original Iron Chef Japan host.
Yup.
Yep.
Yeah, it was really great seeing him here.
He was the chairman for Food Network's Iron Chef America for like 15 years, and then he did it again on the Netflix
2
one.
seconds into this movie, and I thought, oh fuck, is that the guy from Brotherhood of the Wolf?
It sure is.
Yeah, Dan brought it up. I was like, no, what? Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah, this man's eyebrows are so strong. I just
Right?
immediately went, there's no way. I do love that this is another case of movies, back in the day especially, being like, this is a 17-year-old.
Yes, it kind of caused a false perception of what age is like.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm 17. I don't look fucking anything like that.
What was he, like 30 or
27?
27, okay.
He was either that or 29. I remember between the two Lee brothers, they were both pretty closing in on 30.
Yeah, I remember when I saw them and their mother figure, I was like, mother figure or love interest? Okay.
I'll be real with you, still unsure.
Right? Maybe both.
She's the protector who's a love interest, I guess.
There might have been script revisions.
You don't say.
There are a couple lines in this movie that don't connect to anything else.
Not at all.
I thought that this was a perfectly crafted film. What are you guys talking about?
I mean, it sure is a full film. I mean, like we've got themed gangs, car chases, boat chases, ghosts, mystical amulets, possessed cyber zombies. This movie has fucking everything you could want in a movie jam-packed into it.
And it's insane because you'd think at least half of that shit would be cut out of a movie that only gets $8 million for its budget. Mm-hmm. It's truly staggering that they went for everything. It has the fantastical CGI GUI on all of these computers in these cars, and it's like, that's amazing. How did you even follow through with the idea of doing that?
Look, they had to get that done, or else the car chase would have made zero sense.
I argue it made less sense because the computer's like, you're now like 3 miles away. And I'm like, what? How did that happen?
Look, we needed to keep cutting to the CG because we didn't get permits to drive over 30 miles an hour to film this car chase.
But I think that about gets them the idea of the movie, other than the soul medallion makes you become a paper-thin ghost man who can possess people. And I think, oh, and the body medallion makes it so you just don't die.
Yeah,
You're
it seems pretty OP.
It's like Jackie Chan Adventures where half of these superpowers don't seem very fucking useful at all. And then one's like, you just can't die.
I mean, like the soul half of the talisman also means you can't die. And when he was possessing Jimmy, he kicked Billy through a concrete wall. Like,
That is true.
was that the talisman?
Maybe that's just movie power. I assume that's just movie power.
That's just how good Jimmy was? Possibly.
Possibly, if Jimmy just put himself into his kicks, he would always kick people through solid walls.
Shuko's greater experience allowed him to properly use his young body.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was what my read was.
I growing up in the 90s, I've seen a lot of Power Rangers adjacent martial arts themed properties.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first time I've watched one and gone, wow, all of the fighting in this is bad.
Oh, yeah.
And yet it was better than I expected. Not to think that it was good, especially when they had to fight anything with the main villain, like Shuko.
Oh,
That
yeah,
actor
Shuko
cannot.
can't. It was like,
And also the lady that played their guardian, she also just could not. Mm-hmm. That was the worst fight in the whole movie.
Yeah, I think the only person who actually had martial arts training is Mark Dacascos.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which, that makes sense. I mean, he's in John Wick. You're led to believe he may have a chance to take down John Wick. No, you aren't.
I really got to gas up Robert Patrick in this movie, though. Just something about his performance is spectacular.
Again, I think Aggro hit the nail on the head. He's playing Vanilla Ice as an evil
Yeah,
CEO.
kinda.
An evil CEO weeb. Like, it's powerful stuff.
It is. He's doing a much better job than this movie is. Like, every scene he's in, I'm like, man, with a different director, maybe. Like, this is the A material. This is good stuff. And they made such a bad movie.
Yeah, the director, James Ukich, doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
Oh my God.
Oof.
Something I didn't expect from this movie at all, because I'd seen it before, so I remembered some of it, but I didn't expect the propaganda
Yeah.
through line, like where the police have given up and surrendered nighttime to the gangs. It's like, well, nothing happens in the day anymore. Yeah, because they can wait 4 hours and do it then.
It's
But
so
then there's
bad.
like the RoboCop-esque press conference where they're asking, where they almost literally say they can't stop crimes because the libs.
And like at the end of the movie when he gets a check, oh, that was the problem. The police department lacked funding. They somehow got every firearm out of the city of Los Angeles. But they had to cede control of the streets to the gangs at night.
Yeah, it's the only way.
Maybe the police also gave up their firearms.
The quake opened up, and the only way to seal it was to throw all the guns.
Pack
Obviously.
them all in there. No, they roll in with rifles at the end of this movie.
Yeah,
yeah.
they do. And just to have the scene to show that they did it. They don't actually do anything. They just show up to do a thing that was already done. And that is an amazing moment in the movie. I think that might be the most propaganda moment to be like, but don't worry, they would have done it. They would have done it.
Well, they show up to arrest the villain, so you don't have to have any questions about what happened after. So nobody's kid asks them what happened after.
Meanwhile, that's not the question I'm asking. The question I'm asking as a kid is, why would he think that was his brother? That's clearly a Bobo. There's no world in which you could think that. Why? What is this movie doing right now, Mom?
This is
Also, I really hated, like, as a kid, I really hated the moment that it was like, that vent closed and we were on the outside and, Jimmy or whoever was on the inside. Let's go back to our base and talk about it and get romantic. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Your brother's in that building. Don't go to the other side of town to talk about it.
yeah,
And of course they do that so that way they can have a fight scene where a bunch of foot
Right.
soldiers invade, and some of them invade by jumping from the third story with no rope or anything.
yeah, that was reckless, to say the least.
I'm thinking that extra actually got hurt.
Probably.
It genuinely did not look like that was correct.
I mean, there is a very cyberpunk-esque eschewing of worry for one's own physical safety throughout the gang culture in this movie. I'd like to point out the mailman from the earlier scene who just shouts airmail and leaps from the top of a tank like 3 stories up and body slams into the ground.
God, that's spectacular.
I feel like more children's movies, in most movies, need to embrace the Hong Kong film ending where you shotgun the bad guy and cut the credits.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's completely true.
Like Billy should have just gone into Shuko with the amulet and then done his little goofy thing with it and then had him explode like Agent Smith.
Yeah, like the Matrix. Yeah. and then as they're carrying him away to prison because he exploded a man, we do the same shot you do in those Hong Kong movies. It's filmed from a chopper very unsteadily. It's just swooping up and down and just being like, yo, he's going to prison. And then we end it. My goal in life is to end a movie someday with here's the shot showing his ass is going to prison. Our hero.
It's so crazy that okay, we have both halves of the double dragon, the magic medallion. It's gonna make us into Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah. What? What?
Yeah, look, I expected those to somehow, 1, be in the movie more, and 2, look more in line with what was in the game.
Yeah, again, as a kid, I was just upset. I was like, that looks like ass. What is this? And then he's like, you can't get outfits like this from the store. And I'm like, yeah, there's a reason. That was made out of matting. Bro, you're wearing the floor mat at a gym. What are you doing?
Looks pretty cool.
No, it doesn't. It looks terrible.
You're just saying that because you're wearing the blue one.
When the 7-year-old kid watching your movie goes, wow, that is a terrible outfit. You have f***ed up.
And yet the ninja outfit from the opening is maybe even more comical.
Everything about that opening is hilarious.
It's like, yeah, that's definitely an outfit anyone at any point in history has worn.
Well, yeah, they wore it all the time somewhere in China.
Somewhere in China.
We've got a lot of episodes of the series to go. I don't think we're going to get another somewhere in China.
I think we will.
Oh, no, we're going to get so many of those.
I hope you're right.
Speaking of this terrible outfit, why was Lash in this movie?
I'm glad you asked. I have no idea.
Well, he needed like his Vader sort of character to always be with him and be nemesing.
He had, Al Leong is in this movie. He's one of the twin henchmen with the cool back of head paint thing
You
going
mean
on.
Huey or Lewis, which is their actual names, and thus why he goes Huey Lewis? What's the news? A great fucking joke.
I thought that was just a reference to
It's both.
Huey Lewis in the News. I didn't
is
think
their
it was literally
names.
named that.
And he's making a reference. This is top tier writing. Thank you, Paul Dini. This story was literally written by the guy who
What? No way.
Yes!
Oh my God, it was.
Who wrote what?
Batman the Animated Series.
Oh my
so the inventor of
Yeah.
Harley Quinn and with Bruce Timm, yeah.
That's why I'm saying it's the A material. Just they made the movie bad.
It's really quite something. Oh man, it would be really good if we got one of these modern video game adaptations to come out and be this insanely weird and good in certain ways. Like, wouldn't it have been great if, and we haven't watched it, please look forward to it in a future episode. If Borderlands was this.
Right? I was thinking if you somehow turned Last of Us into this, that would be incredible.
That
my-
would be incredible. That would be amazing.
Well, at least it wouldn't take till season 2 for the viewers to get upset. They would get upset immediately or not care, and then there would be the strong who were left to enjoy it.
It's like, I don't know why Joel got the medallion that gave him the cool cartoon version of the costume he wore in the game, but I like it.
I don't know why Troy Baker is dressed as Vanilla Ice. But I love it. Well, we've talked enough about the movie. Are there any plot details or like world building we just want to bring up here instead of in the review section, anyone? Because I feel like we really imparted the vibes of this movie on people.
I really, it's such an early 90s thing for them to live in an abandoned theater, like an abandoned theater with a stage.
Yeah.
Like when you're 10 years old in the 90s, that's like the coolest thing you can think of.
I mean, it would still be pretty dope.
It's got everything. It's got cargo nets, fire exits, a weird cage that seems to lock as soon as you close it with no way to open it, even though there's a paddle right there.
For some reason, the theater stage environment and the notion that they were living there gave me Thunderdome vibes for some reason.
It's a post-apoc civilization thing. I get it.
And it's made in the 90s.
Right.
Yeah, so it just had those vibes for me. It just, this is their cool gang hangout where they hate parents ruling over them. Well, with that out of the way, we got to get to scoring this movie. We have a number of vectors we score this movie on, much like our former series, Pokemon Go to the Movies, where we reviewed every Pokemon movie. This, too, has many vectors. So let's get into them real quick. The first vector, what did you think of the movie? Thumbs up, down, sideways, and a small review. We're going to go ahead and start with Dr. Agro.
The Double Dragon movie was a film project that was given everything, every opportunity to shine, to be one of the canon of 90s children's cinema, and just couldn't put 90 minutes together to save its life. I have got to give this movie a thumbs down, but man, if you're the kind of person who likes watching weird movies, this is one you're going to want to check out.
Okay, next we're going to go to Bob.
Agro is right. This movie is a total mess, but I kind of like what's laying down. It's just weird enough, and I'm always surprised enough by the world building that gets me through any manner of poor direction or terrible acting that we may be presented with, or possibly awful fight choreography. So I'm going to put this with a thumbs up, though be aware this is not for everyone.
You're like, this is a mess. This is the movie equivalent of a Golden Corral.
Yep.
You wanted everything? Here you go.
Just put the mashed potatoes on all of it. It's fine.
Even the fondue.
Yes.
Also, Robert Patrick's over there for some reason.
Hi, I managed this one. Chris, we're going to you next. What do you think? Thumbs up, down, sideways, and review.
Well, you see, I'm no stranger to enjoying weird movies set in a horrible version of LA that's debatably post-apocalyptic, because that also has shitty action, because I love Demolition Man, which is a movie that has a lot of things in common with this movie, inexplicably.
Inexplicably indeed.
Man, we need to go back when we all knew that someday LA would be separated from the US.
And that was based, actually.
So I have no choice but to give this a thumbs up, even if I don't think a normal person would get as much out of it.
Like Agro stated, this movie is a mess. There are loose ends that are statements that seem to not really fit in the movie they crafted. There's a weird propaganda arc that needn't happen. However, I have to be honest. If you think the modern Mario movie is the poison, this is the antidote. I'm giving this movie a thumbs up. It is a strong medicine. It will cure you. And really, I think the Golden Corral comparison really is the most apt way to describe it.
Yeah, just give your movie IP, your game IP to a total weirdo. See what they do.
What's popular right now? Power Rangers? Yeah, that involves punching and kicking. We could probably pull that off. They couldn't.
Yeah, not even as good as a normal episode of Power Rangers.
Yeah, the studio says we can only punch people 3 times in the movie. I don't know. Figure it out.
Has the weird rules that the old Spider-Man cartoon did. Like you can't punch people.
We got to talk about it. I feel like at this point it is the most relevant as we leave the review segment and go on to the others. One last thing I need to get out. Their super move sucked.
They have that thing.
That was the most. That was like the first episode of Power Rangers where I think they do an even more ridiculous but very similar move. We're just like, we're gonna link arms and swing each other and do like the world's weirdest spin kick.
That was terrible. That is easily up there for one of the worst things that happened in this film.
Yeah, and it was like the climax. This is pretty bad.
Next category, what would you rank the star power of the movie at? Now, it's worth noting this is a scale of 1 to 5 stars, in that a lot of this is going to be subjective for the individual hosts, thinking back to these actors and moments and things from a modern frame of reference even, and seeing how compelling it is to them now. Let's go ahead and start with Chris. Before you even say it, does anyone know the other Lee brother from anything?
No, they haven't. They never did.
Okay, great.
Well, they did a teeny little amount of stuff.
Yeah, they weren't big.
I got 30 more years to become acquainted with the man, and it didn't happen.
I'm gonna be real. The most I thought about the other brother, Scott Wolf, was I just kept looking, be like, he's not actually average homeboy Denny Blaze, right? I'm just confused. They just look similar. He is not actually average homeboy Denny Blaze. But yeah, he kind of never did much after this. He was in Netflix Voltron.
Wow.
Yeah, he's done a lot of voice acting for a lot of animated shows.
Huh.
That's it. Nothing I would be.
He is apparently also a major character in the Nancy Drew CW show.
Yeah, he's working.
He's working.
Yeah, he's working. He was a TV guy who got bumped up to movies a couple times, and they never really locked in a film career.
So
he's like, okay, I guess I'll go back to TV and keep making money.
He seems to be in an episode of BoJack Horseman as himself.
Oh my God. Oh God. Why does this keep happening to me? I remember this now, and I remember going, I don't know who the hell that is.
He was in almost every episode of Kaijudo, the weird attempt to bring over the Japanese Magic the Gathering clone Duel Masters.
So, Chris, what is the star power of this movie in your estimation?
Robert Patrick is cool, but he's never been an enormous star. Like, he's that guy who's in a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Alyssa Milano is in it. I guess she was big at the time already because she had been in Who's the Boss?
Yeah, I remember living through the era, and it was like, oh, this is a celebrity you should care about. And I'm like, okay. Sure.
And then Andy Dick is in there as the weatherman.
They have Vanna White. That's important. That's star power.
I'm just gonna have to give this a 1 because I don't think there's a single person you can point and be like, they brought people into the theater.
I mean, Well, we're going to go next to Bob. Bob, what do you think the star power is coming in at?
I'm conflicted because it is like Robert Pattinson was one of the biggest movies ever, Terminator 2, but that didn't.
Robert Pattinson
My
is a
bad.
completely different
Yes,
guy.
Robert Patrick.
I also almost made that mistake.
Robert Patrick was in one of the biggest movies of all time that was fairly close to this, like released 2 years earlier, but that didn't really make him a huge star, weirdly. Like it didn't like propel him into some next tier. So even with my huge buff of having the Iron Chef guy, I'm gonna have to give this a 2-star because they're all low scale celebrities, but there are a lot of them.
And each of them feels like a weird deep cut.
Right.
Like even George Hamilton seems like a weird deep cut. He played Zorro. He is a very old school actor.
Wow.
He's the villain in an episode of Columbo. That's how you know.
Huh.
Anyway, Aggro, what do you estimate the star power at?
I think I'm gonna have to rate this one a little higher. It's for the scale of movie this is, the budget. Every other scene, I'm looking at the screen and going, "Oh shit, it's that guy!" Like these are some gets. Like obviously Robert Patrick is the top of that pile. Mark Dacascos is more of an ooh, I really like that guy. But like Alyssa Milano, Vanna White, Andy Dick can fuck off. Al Leong, I will love every movie he's in, no matter how bad it is. I'm gonna have to rate this one as like a 4, just for value for money.
Yeah, I'm personally going to have to put the star power somewhere at a 3 because it doesn't feel completely flat. It has names. These are people know. Even if it has to be as base and broad as Vanna White, people know these sorts of people. Andy Dick is infamous. I feel like they're there. It's not strong, but it's present. Okay, well, we're moving to our next segment, and especially important for a gaming movie. Well, we're moving to our next segment, which is especially important for a video game-based movie podcast. We need to rank the faithfulness to the original material on a 100% scale and possibly bring up whether or not that's a good or bad thing. Let's go ahead and start with Bob. Bob, how are you feeling? Where you're coming from, how faithful this is?
Okay. I can see a lot of things in here that are completely blatantly non-faithful, but I feel like they do such a good job of making a world where something like the beat 'em up could take place. Even the final boss, the dude who's like a shadow ghost monster, that's like the boss of Double Dragon 2. Like he goes into an energy monster goes into your shadow and then you fight a shadow yourself.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Like there are lots of weird little things. And Bobo doesn't look right at all, but he's technically from the game. And that sprite's really hideous. So you don't really know how accurate it is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to rate this a solid 65. Like it has that energy. There are a lot of changes, but it has the energy of it.
Dr. Aggro?
Yeah, I'm right around where Bob is. Like there's a lot of stuff that makes it in that it feels more like a reference to the thing than the thing itself. And there's a lot of random extraneous horseshit.
Yes.
But even all of that stuff, you're like, okay, yeah, I get it. That makes sense. But I mean, if I'm being strict and cynical about it, I'd give it like a 50.
Personally, I have kid vibes to go off of and also modern perspective. To me, it feels like the spirit of the thing is there. However, it's straddled with so much stuff and so many weird decisions, like what they did with Abobo, making him super steroided to be this absolute hulking mess that is disgusting to even look at, and then force feeding him spinach as torture, and then the weird Silent Hill bathroom he's locked in that we didn't bring up in the summary.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm gonna have to say this is by and large not majority Double Dragon. I'm gonna go ahead and put this at a 42. Chris, where are you sitting?
I feel like I'm gonna have to give this something like a 50. Because it has a lot of stuff for what was primarily known as an arcade or NES game at the time. They extracted a lot more meaning from it than you would expect them to. But it's still, You know, they have a lot. They filled in the other 50% with RoboCop and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And man, the RoboCop's the funniest part because they're like, man, RoboCop's awesome. Let's do those commercials. I think this next category is completely divested from everything else we've said so far, thus an incredibly valid metric on which to measure a film. Do you think this movie is a viable substitute for the game? Can you just sit someone down with the movie and be like, so you get Double Dragon? This is a yes or no question. We're going to go ahead and start with Chris. Chris, is this sufficient?
No. No, it's not. The fighting is all bad. Maybe it would be higher up on the scale if it wasn't. But unfortunately, it very much is.
Bob, what do you think?
Okay. My answer would be yes, but Marion is not punched in the gut and pulled or dragged off somewhere,
or shot to death,
or so,
depending on which version you played.
Look, we
She
should
just murdered or dragged off, and they did neither.
That was just two.
Well, they murdered their mom.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I feel like they immediately disregarded that. Maybe not immediately, but eventually in the modern timeline, we now are like, yeah, that didn't happen. Here's Marion. She's still in the game. It's fine.
Are you basing this on River City Girls?
Yes.
That's not.
And I think that they bring him back in Neon as well. I think
Neon's kind of like a reboot anyway.
Yes, exactly. Everything else has been like, no, let's
Could you
not
imagine
do that.
this movie had like the Skullmageddon or whatever, the bad guy from Neon? That would have been awesome.
That would have been pretty funny. But yeah, it's
so just barely not.
Just barely not.
No, not enough Marion abuse.
If they had that one scene, that's like the only thing that happens in those games.
Yeah, it's true.
So if they didn't make that means you don't get to have that knowledge.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to side with Bob here. I think Marion's the tipping point on which this weighs, but it's also important that this movie did not have what was a stolen copy of Easy Lover by Phil Collins.
They could have licensed the actual song. I'm sure they could afford that.
No. I think that's an important thing. Also, it would have helped if we had more scenes, kind of like in Double Dragon 2, a chopper fight, a fight on a naval base. Any of these could be set to Easy Lover. We could have a nighttime rooftop fight scene. But unfortunately, this doesn't really give me the vibes. Also, Bobo didn't disintegrate and then reform, which would have been sick. So I'm going to say no. Aggro?
Yeah, as much as we talked about this, really getting the spirit of the thing, this is not like a two-way transferable experience. You can play the game and then look at the movie and go, okay, I see how we got there from here. If you just watch the movie, you have not seen the calculus that got them there from the game.
No.
It's going to be a no.
So then it's agreed. If you watch this movie instead of playing the game, not only have you cheated the game, you've cheated yourself. So this next category is interesting in how it plays out this time. It is, if they didn't, should they have readapted this movie into a game? Chris, you were saying the Neo Geo fighting game is, in fact, the movie.
It is. It's not 1-to-1, but it's obviously based on the movie. It has Kogashuko, it has the weird mutant Abobo, and pre-mutant, like, tall mohawk Abobo.
Huh.
So clearly very inspired, much like Street Fighter, the movie, the game. Obviously, and that's the poster child of this category. So then we move on to the sub-clause of this. Would this movie have been better as a Sega CD FMV video game instead of a movie at all? We just take these scenes, we put them on the Sega CD with its like 32 colors or whatever it was, and you hit buttons to do the action in it. We're going to start with Bob.
I'm going to say no. The action isn't even good. So having that just completely divested and the only thing in it is bad. And also, Sega CD games that are FMV based are bad. So yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Chris, what do you think?
No.
Aggro?
It absolutely would have been better as a Sega CD FMV game. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
One, none of the fights in this movie are resolved by somebody fighting better than the other fighter. They're all about making tactical decisions to retreat or grab some object or move to a different position. Second, I absolutely want every time I die it to load up the same scene of Kogashuko laughing ominously and turning into a shadow monster.
No, it's true. That would be one of the most memorable things on the Sega CD if that had occurred. I'm going to have to agree with Aggro. This would have been better as a Sega CD game. For one, you get to do the driving sequence. You get to do inputs as they're driving, and you can fail, and we'll just abruptly cut to... Because we didn't get footage of the car exploding and them wrecking.
No.
So we just cut to a Bobo looking at them and them being like, oh, and then it says continue. It would have been an iconic Sega CD FMV movie video game. I think they should have done it. I think it might have been better as it, yeah. It certainly didn't do well as a movie. It didn't even make back its budget of $8 million.
Wow.
And the final, arguably the most important metric on which we measure these movies. Would you ever take a normal person to see this movie? Which is to say, a non-gamer. I'll go ahead and start this. Hell no. I don't think I would. I don't think I would ever be caught being linked to this film in any way. I don't want to come off as like, oh yeah, Dan said this movie was worth watching. Oh God, let me tell you. I can tell you because you're listening to this podcast, but a normal person? Sweet Jesus, no. They don't get the levels of this is clearly not the video game. Mm-hmm. They do not get the levels of, my God, they had no money, but they tried so much. No, a normal person should not be invited to go see Double Dragon 1994 in no world. Bob, are you gonna bring a normal person to watch this movie?
I cannot say that is advisable. I'm gonna also have to go with no. It just seems like completely the wrong move. They won't get anything out of it, I don't think.
Chris?
I would. Have you seen the they put out on f***ing streaming services now that normal people watch? This could only be an upgrade.
What's that? You're upset at the latest season of The Last of Us. Do I have a treat for you? You like post-apocalypse? This has that.
Man, that's a show that airs on TV, so it would more like be like, whoa, you thought you actually watched The Electric State?
You're lying. No one did.
But just in case you're not, we better detox you.
Aggro, what are you thinking? Would you take a normal person to watch this movie?
Yeah, no, this is the kind of trust me, bro, that burns bridges. You don't come back from recommending this. This is not exactly the Cowboy Bebop of Hollywood adaptations of video games. This is not the pitch you start on.
Well, there you go. We have measured this movie on every metric humanly possible, at least of value metrics. Weirdly enough, 3 people gave this a thumbs up, and 3 people said they would not recommend bringing a normal person to watch it. What does that mean? I don't know. But you just listened to a whole podcast about it.
I'm consistent.
Chris is the only one with standards and values. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to tell you right which one of us is Siskel, which one of us is Ebert, which one of us is Jay Sherman, and which one of us is that weird guy with the afro. And we'll see you next time for Chicken Jockey. The executive producers for this month's Gigaboots videos are Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, Cooper Tank, BN12, Rado, Virmvarm, and Matcha Bunny. Thank you very much to our executive producers, and also these guys. If you want to become an executive producer or normal patron, head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today.